Okay, hey everyone, welcome to 2016 and my first movie review of 2016, and of course it's Kung Fu Panda 3. If you guys haven't guessed already, I love me some Kung Fu Panda, alright? I've talked about it in the past, and unfortunately by the time I started doing this whole YouTube thing, like I really started doing this whole channel, you know, Kung Fu Panda 3 was Kung Fu Panda 2, I'm sorry, was like way behind us, and then Kung Fu Panda 3 was shortly coming out. And I was actually waiting for this. I was actually waiting for this at the end of last year, but I think it got pushed back because of Star Wars, which would make sense considering how Star Wars is like totally took over the box office for like a month. And there was like literally nothing any other companies could have done. So okay, let's talk about Kung Fu Panda 3. I actually went to go see it Saturday. I had a double feature I did Saturday with a friend of mine. I also brought my mother there. And, excuse me, we actually went to go see separate movies for the first one, and then we all met up and we saw Deadpool right after that. And I'm going to make a separate review talking about Deadpool in a second. But first, I just want to talk about Kung Fu Panda 3. So, basically, how is it? Well, before I go into the third one, I just want to talk about the other two. The first Kung Fu Panda I really enjoyed. I thought it was really good. And there was this like feel of progression in it, as well as this sort of, you know, is he the chosen one or isn't he the chosen one sort of thing that was going on. Then in the end, and where I actually thought they was going to go, they didn't go. They actually did a twist on it. And I felt like, you know, if it was Disney, they would have just said, you know, he's not the chosen one, but for some reason, he can still do all these amazing things, so he kind of is the chosen one. It's like, I felt like Disney would have did that. DreamWorks did it differently with the first Kung Fu Panda. I think the only problem with the first one is the villain. He's kind of lackluster. He's not very interesting. They have this somewhat interesting backstory for him, but the character himself it doesn't feel like he has much of a personality out of just, you know, being evil. He was just like a caricature just for what a villain should be, and that was it. When I can see why they don't really reference him anymore. They do reference him in this movie, though. I will give them that, and they have referenced him in the TV show before, even when a relative actually comes on in the TV show. And I'm not going to mention any more of the TV show in here because the TV show can be hit or miss. You know, I have seen Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness. I don't know if I'm going to make a review on that. I might. You know, there's still a few ideas I'm coming up for my series reviews, but I'll leave that in a separate video. So, yeah, so Kung Fu Panda 1 I thought was very good. Kung Fu Panda 2, I thought this was phenomenal. I thought this was great. We have a better villain, played by Gary Oldman, who was just so fantastic with the voices, man. I love this guy. Gary Oldman's character is amazing, and there's actually a connection between him and Poe, and they play it up, ultimately leading to this ending, which was, once again, they did another twist. They did a surprise for me. You know, you would think that, okay, Kung Fu Panda 2 came out in 2011, I'm pretty sure. You know, if you haven't seen it, this is a spoiler. Towards the end, you think that Poe is going to kind of convert him to be like the good guy, to come to the hero side. But no, the villain's just like, you know what? It's too late for me to go back now. I'm still going to try to kill your ass. And in the process of doing that, he actually gets himself killed, but he kind of accepts his death at that point, just like, you know what? I can't beat him. There's nothing I can do. But I like that. I like this journey that this villain was going on, and it seems like they put a lot of effort into this villain compared to the one from the first one. And I don't think they can really top that, because that was a great backstory for him, and a great middle part, and an ending. And the villain was funny. The villain was very, very funny. And I don't know how well Kung Fu Panda 2 did. I don't think it's doing as well, or did as well as Kung Fu Panda 3 is, which was literally #1 at the box office until Deadpool came out. But I really wanted everybody, you know, to just like go and see that movie. So hopefully the people that really wanted to see it did. But, you know, as far as the heroes, there were progressions with Poe and the rest of the characters. Alright, so now moving on to Kung Fu Panda 3. Once again, better villain than the first one. Not better than the second one. The backstory is done here really quickly, and the backstory that they showed here was really good, because it looked like one of those oh man, I guess they're like those Chinese caricature I can't remember what they're called. They're like the scroll looking thingies that you see. The scroll looking thingies. It's like the scroll thing that you see in Chinese art. It looks like, oh man, I gotta look that up. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm not going to show my phone, but it's like it's the Chinese wall scroll art. You know those paintings where you see like they're like mountains, and then there's like the language, Chinese is like written at the top of it. Yeah, they do it like that, and it's so good. It's like a mixture of 2D animation. It's like a moving scroll art that they actually do it on, and then they actually have the characters look at the scroll to show that this is kind of what they're seeing as they reading it off to you, and it's animated, it's in 2D, and it looks so beautiful. And I was just like, oh, this is so great, but it's only done for a second, then they go back to the regular 3D animation, which is fantastic here. I heard that there was rumors that DreamWorks is going through some type of money issue right now. I don't know if their movies are making as much money as they want. Kung Fu Panda 3 is making a lot. I'm sure of it from what I see from the box office numbers. But I think the movie Home, they put like a lot of work into, but it didn't really reach that potential that they wanted. I'm not sure if that's true. That's just rumors that I've heard on the internet. If DreamWorks is going through problems, then I'm pretty sure this movie will help out, but you couldn't tell. You really couldn't tell with the beautiful animation in this movie. Okay, so what is the story about? So Poe, and everybody else is back, same voice actors, Jack Black, Dustin Hoffman, Angelina Jolie, Jackie Chan, all of them are back playing their respective roles, but then Bryan Cranston shows up, who plays Poe's father, and I love him in this movie. He shows up and he has a great personality. He's a great guy, but he comes to see Poe for a reason. He brings Poe back to Pandora, or wherever the pandas are actually holed up, because there are more pandas. Poe isn't the only one anymore. So of course, Mr. Ping, Poe's adopted father, who is a duck. Well, he's a goose actually. I'm pretty sure he's a goose. So he gets a little bit jealous, so there's like a little bit of a father rivalry going on, but it's mostly kind of one-sided. Bryan Cranston is just like, he's so mellow and so laid back. It's great. The villain in here is played by J.K. Simmons, who comes from the spirit world, which is the world that you go to after you die. After taking the chi of the former spirit masters who have died for over centuries, he has tracked them all down in the next life, and he has taken their energy, their spirit energy. Anybody who watches like Dragon Ball Z or something, or Naruto, about chi. So he takes all their spirit energy, even Master. Oh my God, I am forgetting the turtle's name. Oh my! I was about to say Master Shifu. No, not not Shifu. Oh my God, I can't remember the turtle's name. Okay, so that is so sad because I love these characters, but he wasn't in it for a while. I'm sorry. So he's just been out of it. So anyway, after taking the chi from the masters in the spirit realm, he returns to the earthly world, our world, and he fights, and he starts tracking down like the masters in this world as well, to prove that, I guess, that he's a strong person or whatever. I don't really understand his motivation. I guess it's just to do it just to show he just wants to rule the world. That's it. Okay, so and while that's going on, Poe is getting to know what being a panda is all about, and then of course you got the climax at the end. I'm just gonna say I like this movie. I love this movie. Not as good as the second one. I think currently at Rotten Tomatoes, let me see, I have my cell phone here. I think it's like at an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. That might be a little bit too high for me. Just a tad bit. Okay, it's at 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, that just might be a tad bit too high. I'll possibly give it about if I was using Rotten Tomatoes scoring, I'll probably give it about a 76, 77. It's good, but it's not up there with that second one. The second one was so perfect. It had such a better villain. It had such a better backstory. And I think the Kung Fu choreography was also better in the second one. There's a good bit in here, but there's like a lot of like playful banter going on, especially when the pandas are up on screen and you just see them like rolling down a hill, and they're just trying to teach Po how to be, how to be a panda, an original panda, before he started actually having somewhat of a routine. Like, Po was still lazy, but he wasn't as lazy as these guys were. Like, there's actually a scene where he wakes up early. He like wakes up like in 6 a.m. or something like that. He goes to his father's hut and he's like, okay, father, I'm ready to learn how to be a panda today. And his father's like, first thing about being a panda is that we sleep until noon. So Po's like, okay, so he runs backwards and he goes back to sleep. And then his father comes in and he wakes him up and he's like, oh, did I overslept? And his father's like, yes, you did. And Po's like, yes. And it was, it's things like that, which was very funny. I did laugh a good bit at this one. Once again, not as much as the second one in terms of jokes that they was trying to get out, but there seemed like a joke like every minute, like they was really trying to push this forward, and a good bit of them work, and some of them didn't. Some of them just kind of just fell on deaf ears, so to speak. But yeah, for what it just was the continuation of what Kung Fu Panda is, Po's story. He is he is the chosen one, the dragon warrior now, and this is just him keeping up that dragon warrior persona and ultimately just being himself. And that's about it. It was just a movie which message was about just being yourself, and being yourself can just be enough. So yeah, I thought it was good. Out of 4 stars, I'd probably give it a ranking of about 3. It's a 3-star movie. With the second one, I'll probably definitely give a 4. I'm just gonna give this one a 3. This was 3. So yeah, that's my review on it. It's good. If you like the other 2, you're gonna love this one. If you didn't like the other 2, there's nothing that's gonna change your mind. It's still Kung Fu Panda. They're still doing their same old stick. So this was a great prequel to Zootopia, which I heard has like 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, and they already made over 30 million. 30 million as far as international, because I heard it opened in Germany and Belgium. Well, Belgium is in Germany, and France and everywhere like that. Back in I think like this week, or was it last week? It opened in Europe. Either way, I can't wait to see that. I want to see that. It actually comes out next week, and I won't have time to go see it. But yeah, I look forward to that. So. That's it. Kung Fu Panda 3. It's good, so you should go check it out if you haven't already. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this review, please give me a like. If you did not, please give it a dislike. You didn't like the movie, you hate my review, blah, blah. Dislike it. You like the movie, you like my review, go ahead, like it. Okay, that's it. So I'm just going to do the Deadpool review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.